After maxing in the most difficult game mode Old School has to offer, I set out to achieve the best gear and push my account to the absolute limits. This is my endgame Ultimate Iron Man. Hey guys, Chad's here again. In the previous video, we stacked up 200 clues for the Bando's Cloak. Well, we got the cloak as well as the clueless scroll and managed to finally store the BGS. And that brings us up to now. This is the endgame UIM, and as it stands right now, I've only got one mega rare, the Twisted Bow. The Twisted Bow is great, but I need some more mega rares to go along with it, which is what leads us to now. Today we are going to be taking on everyone's favorite raid, the Theater of Blood. As mentioned before, the main goal of the theater is to get the Scythe of Vitur. Xeric recently has made the Scythe more viable at different bosses, and I'm hopefully going to add this to my arsenal, but right now there's only one thing standing in my way. No, not Xeric. Actually, it's mastering Mixology. What does this have to do with the Theater of Blood? Well, one of the best rewards you can get from mastering Mixology is the Chugging Barrel, and most accounts simply use this as a quality of life item to pre-pot before any PVM. However, UIMs can use this a bit differently. The Chugging Barrel allows for storage of up to 100 doses of basically any potion. This means I can clear out my inventory of noted potions and use the Chugging Barrel instead. This will save me 3 spots that previously were unusable. The one downside of the Chugging Barrel is that, since it can only hold 100 doses at a time, I'll have to rebag about every 20 raids or so, but that's a mild inconvenience compared to the alternative. Yeah, I had to take a break from mastering Mixology, so I decided to do some chambers. So I decided to send a solo challenge mode. More so, I just wanted to see if I could even complete a solo challenge mode. I've done plenty of regular chambers and some solo modes in groups. But yeah, I wanted to see if I could do a solo, so I decided to gear up and send one. I've already got most of what I need here. I do have the Twisted Bow already, and 2 out of 3 pieces of the Ancestral, but I would really like to get the Ancestral Robe bottoms, therefore I can store it in the POH, and it frees up my Ancestral Robe top from my bag. Alright, and this should be my first ever solo CM completed. And we are rewarded with the Twisted Ancestral Kit. Let's fucking go. Alright, let's go ahead and take this out. And let's see what this robe top looks like. There you go. Okay, back to our regularly scheduled programming. I kind of wanted to give just a brief rundown of mastering Mixology. So if you have any herbs that you don't plan on making into a useful potion, such as Lantidimes or Harlanders, you can take those straight to mastering Mixology, send them into the grinder, and make them into paste. And each different herb correlates to a different kind of paste. I'm sure there's going to be some kind of herb that you end up having a lot of. For me, it's dwarfweed. I've got like 7,000 of them that I got from Chambers a while ago. And I'm never going to use all those for range potions. Anyway, after depositing your paste into the hopper, you'll be given the potion orders in the top left, and each one of those will correlate with the type of paste, so you can make those different kinds of potions and put them on the conveyor belt for some points. And to be honest, I'm really kicking myself because the blue paste is kind of difficult to come by. I had received plenty of noted Harlanders from Perilous Moons and from Hunter Rumors while getting 99, but for some reason, I decided not to keep those, so I had to find other sources of getting my blue paste. Okay, so we finally got enough points to buy the Chugging Barrel. I decided to rebag at Hespori. Yeah, my inventory is a little cluttered right now, but we are going to grab the Chugging Barrel and then set up our inventory to finally do some Theater of Blood. Alright, and we finally got the Chugging Barrel. This did take quite a bit of time. I did this very passively whenever nothing was going on, so I don't know, it was probably somewhere around like 15 hours maybe, just in between tasks, but yeah, we finally got it. And one other thing I forgot to mention about this is that you can assemble it and disassemble it. When it's disassembled, it is a tradable item, so if you don't need it at the time, you can just toss it into your looting bag. Okay, so I didn't quite understand how to use this. I was trying to use noted potions on it before. Yeah, you gotta unnote your potions first, and then you can store them in here. But yeah, here are the first potions that we're putting inside the Chugging Barrel. Okay, and that is the full chugging barrel, so now I'm going to go to theater. So before we begin, I wanted to show everyone where I'm starting out. This is a very old clip from about 2 years ago when I got my Avernic. And after that, I stopped at 65 KC with 2 drops, the Avernic and the Sangstaff. So now, after returning, the Scythe would be great to get, but also the Rapier might have some small uses as well. Justiciar isn't really a priority, but at least it's storable in the POH. Outside of that, whenever I start a new long-term boss grind like this, I like to check the wiki page to plan for what I'm going to keep. The common loot I will be bagging is Wines of Zamorak for range potions, Runite Ore for the cache, and Vials of Blood. Vials of Blood will still be a great item to keep, even if I don't get a Scythe. This is because the Vials of Blood, along with Blood Runes, can be stored together inside of the Firewell, and I've got a large stack of Blood Runes to get rid of. As for the gear that I'm bringing into the theater, I went with a max range setup. I'm in a bit of a unique situation where the Twisted Bow is my best in slot weapon for a few rooms, such as Maiden, Sotoseg, and Zarpus. Outside of that, I brought the dual maracas from the Moons for the melee Nilo roll. I will be using the Bando's Godsword special whenever needed, but also trying to sneak in a few ZCB specials as well. And finally, my melee weapon that I went with is the Noxious Halberd. In my opinion, it's going to be one of the best weapons, aside from the Scythe, that you can use inside of the theater. It has one more tile of extra range as opposed to every other melee weapon, so it makes Phase 2 of Verzik much easier to deal with, as I won't have to worry about getting bounced. Additionally, it counts as a poisoned weapon for the purple Nilos that spawn during Phase 2 Verzik. I could have gone with the Blade of Salador instead, since the DPS calculator says it would beat the Halberd, but with all the other benefits I laid out before, I will be sticking with the Halberd. Alright, so this will be the first Phase 2 that we get to use the Halberd, so might be a little wonky with it at first, but I think we'll figure out a good pattern. And moving on to Phase 3, the Halberd also has the added bonus of that extra tile I was talking about before. So, if you stand one extra tile away, you can avoid all potential melee attacks. Alright, first KC back after 2 years. Are we lucky? Never lucky. But I will take the Vials of Blood and the Clue. Also, I forgot to mention that all the extra herbs that I'm not going to hang on to, those are going to go straight to Mixology. And like I said before, with the Vials of Blood, we are going to be storing those with the Blood Runes, so here's me slowly whittling away at my huge stack of Blood Runes. And not too far into the grind, we saw our very first purple, but unfortunately, it was not ours. Congratulations, Mike, on the Grazi Rapier. I figured I should probably show off the method of how I am bagging and getting back to Theater of Blood. So, after the completion of the Taste of Hope quest, you can go back to Old Man Raoul's house, and in the basement you can talk to this guy, you'll get the Draken's Medallion back for free. Then you can use the Clan Wars teleport to get to the Ferox Enclave. At the Ferox Enclave, you can bag everything that you want to keep. And at the chest, we're going to grab some coins. These coins are going to allow us to buy the Explorer's Ring. And one more thing, for 30k you can buy the Draken's Medallion back from Purdue, but it doesn't take very long to get, so I just choose to grab a new one for free every time. After you're ready to go, you can teleport with the Explorer's Ring, and if you have the Spirit Tree planted here at Port Sarim, you can use this to get back to your house. When I'm back at my house, I like to teleport to the Warriors Guild so that I can buy some potatoes. And after all that, we are ready to get back to the theater. And that is the Theater of Blood Master Combat Task. That is just 75 KC. That's KC number 80, and looks like someone else got another purple, not mine. Justy legs.
health and Versic
Oh!
went back up.
Oh, it's me! What's it gonna be,
I can't
guys?
tell with like the HD plugin. Wait for me to get pet. Oh,
Ooh!
yo. Is that good?
Unfortunately, I didn't have enough room to bag the rapier, so I ended up getting rid of my teleport crystal and just keeping it in the inventory for the next few raids. Alright, and that is a mastered combat task, Pop It. So Pop It is where you're not allowed to like freeze any of the guys, and I don't think take any damage from the Nilo explosions, but yeah, we just kind of got that by happenstance. Decided to go and rebag Hespori. The Twisted Ancestral Kit was short-lived, it's gonna go, and the Purple Sweets are also gonna go. I'm going to be bagging the Ancestral Top, and unfortunately, you can only bag tradable items. With the kit, it's untradable, so yeah, it had to go. And since I'm rebagging, I decided to switch it up a little bit. I'm not going to have the Ancestral Top, and instead I'm going to bring the Light Bearer for some extra specs. And we just completed another one. I now recently learned that there is a chest outside of the bank that holds your items, so I think occasionally I'm going to be opening out here. On P3, you can melee during webs. Everyone starts on this tile. I think this guy may have started early, but if you ever want to just correct that, you can skip a hit, and hopefully you're all back in the cycle. And that's another purple that we see. Unfortunately not mine, but I will definitely take the herbs and the vials of blood. Another pro tip, if you're an Iron Man or even a main account trying to get into Theater of Blood, a lot of teams aren't going to want to take you since you have low KC. However, if you try to do the freeze rolls, you're going to be a lot likely to get accepted onto a team with low KC. Yeah, I got a master clue from that elite. Yep, we are risking it all in the wilderness. Don't try this. This is so stupid. Yeah, okay. Well, I'm not going to do that, so me risking it was all for nothing. Oh well. Alright, that's another purple for me. Oh boy, not even on my MVP. But, please be a Scythe. And it's the dupe of Ernick, that's alright. That is cash. Any back-to-back? Ah, never lucky. And that is the combat task for the Theater Trio Speed. And it's a purple! Yeah, this one kind of caught me off guard. I went in and changed the colors for other people's chests. Yeah, so white chests are other people's purples. Yeah, it's a full-on DC. Damn it. Well, since we DC'd, we were Death Bank, so I decided to chill and do some Amethyst, and we got a dupe ham joint, so I'm just dropping that over. This one trick toppers don't want you to know about. Yeah, I know that on Zarpus, most people tend to do like the Scythe Walk or Whip Walk or whatever, but I found out that in my setup, so long as all the damage reduction specs hit, then Twisted Bow is going to be the best for me. And then I don't have to worry about messing up or ragging any tiles. We will take the Alks and Vials of Blood. Also, I already have a clue on the ground, so it might be time to go do those. Yeah, I'm not going to be bothered to death pile for these, so Deep Wilderness, gonna have to go. Luckily, I was able to complete the second clue scroll that I had, so here's the casket.
Now that's what I call
Garbage. So this clip right here is a prime example of why I decided to bring in the teleport crystal. Apparently somehow the guy who got selected to run the Sotoseg maze, I guess died the moment he teleported, so we had no way of figuring out where to go. The other two guys tried running across and both died, so I just decided to teleport. I wish I had this molten glass before I was 99. We will gladly take the wines and the alks. Ooh, and that's another clue scroll. Okay, we finally see another purple, and thankfully it's ours. Oh, okay. Yeah, another dupe of Vernic. That's fine. That's bond money. That's cash. Just gonna quickly drop this over to the main. Okay, yeah, me and another guy died. Hopefully this is not the back-to-back. That would be ridiculous. Yeah, what do you know? It's a purple. Not mine. Let's see what he gets. For the back-to-back of Vernic. Had to rebag for some more potions. Oh, another elite. Alright, we completed the elite clue, and it was a mimic, so we're gonna kill this guy quick. Alright, that's wines and a master clue. Maybe we can do it. I completed a clue that I got while mining, and we got a new collection log. And finally, our next elite clue. I'm going to try to do this one. And that's the casket. And that's some garbage. Back-to-back elites. I will take another break and go do this. So it finally paid off. I have been keeping this Dragonstone bracelet in the nest for a while. All for this one step so I can enchant it. And there we go. Clue step complete. It's mine. Okay. Hopefully not another dupe, but, honestly I'll take anything. Okay, I mean, it's a new collection, and it's storable in the POH, so that's not so bad. And into the POH prison you go.
He said, lock 'em up.
Took a quick break from Tob to go celebrate this other UIM's maxing party. Congrats, brother. That's a fat Runine ore drop. Don't you just love it when you start a follow train on Verzik P1 because your teammate's been AFK for 5 minutes? Ooh, the vials in the clue? And that's a wilderness step, so that's gonna have to be a no from me. And that is the Theater of Blood Grandmaster. That is to complete the Theater of Blood 150 times. For no purple. Vials and a clue? Always welcome. Oh, it's mine. Not, not on my MVP. The dupe Sangstaff. Don't need that, but that's some cash for sure. Okay, I've realized that I should not be dropping these, so I'm going to sell it to the shop and buy it with my main. So there we go for 2.5 mil, and we secured it on the main. And that's finally perfect maiden. I thought I would just get this one naturally over time, but guess it took the use of a few other UIMs to get that task. Okay, I was starting to get a large pile of clues in the ground, so here we go. And as usual, that's a fat ore drop. Purple for me. Okay. Scythe, please? Oh. Oh, Grassy Rapier is fine. That's cash. Okay, we've got our main in position, so let's sell this. And there we go. There's some money. And the main has secured it. And that is perfect, so to say. We finally got that with some randos. Nice to have that out of the way. Dude, why purple again? Scythe? Maybe? Okay. Hey, new collection, Justy, chest guard, that'll do. And to the POH prison with you.
Lock 'em up.
TY for carry. Gotta rebag real quick. Change the colors once again. Yellow is now someone else's purple. Let's see what he gets. My VP. The Sanger, congrats, dude. Another clue and some elks. It's someone else's purple. Alright, that's for the Justy chest. Congrats, man. That's a purple, but not for me. For the Avernic Defender Hilt, congrats. The all UIM team comes in clutch for my purple. Dupe Rapier. That's cash. And that is the Rapier secured on my main, and some cash for the UIM. Teasing the noobs. That's another raid completed for somebody else's purple. And my MVP. You know, I'm not gonna lie, this one hurt to see. It's the first Scythe I've seen, and it was on my MVP. There were a couple deaths, not mine, but yeah, that's the way it goes sometimes. And so after the Scythe snipe, we continued on. Unfortunately, we did not get any more purples, but we saw a few more pieces of Justiciar for some other people. So this brings us up to the end of the video. I wish I could end this one on a higher note, but we will be taking a break because the new boss Yama comes out pretty soon, which will be dropping the new vest and slot slash armor, which means I am most likely going to be making a pit stop there when the boss releases. What this means right now is that I need to clear up some bag space so that I'm ready to go when the time comes. I will hopefully be returning to the Theater of Blood after I complete the new slash armor so that I can finally obtain my Scythe. Alright, this one ran a bit longer than I anticipated. This one was nearly 2 months of gameplay footage, all packed into a single video. But I'm going to try and stay consistent on the progress updates. Once again, thank you all for watching. I enjoy reading all the comments I get on my videos. If you made it this far, then I would really appreciate a like and subscribe. Anyway, that's all for this video. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one.